Good evening, ladies and germs.
Good.
Good Morgan. How are you, brother?
Good on you.
I'm good. I'm good. Been a busy week.
Yeah,
Very
very
excited for
busy.
some. Very busy for you as it's.
Last week, yeah. So I'm yeah, things are good. We're good. Excited for tonight. Let me. Sorry,
Readjust a bit. Yeah,
I'm just gonna readjust my camera
because you done fucked everything up.
because I done fucked everything up.
Yeah, I am red as fuck thanks to our
I think
outing
we
today.
both are. We're both sunburnt to shit. But
I'm a bit more than you. I look fucking red in the in the video. You still look fine.
yeah,
That's what
yeah,
happens
it's
when you let the
because
Scotsman out in the sun.
yeah, fair enough.
You did this.
So tonight we're gonna be talking about stuff that ended too soon.
Yes, we've spoken. We had actually a very good chat, including the chat themselves, about everything that kind of went on for too long. Things that should have ended a hell of a lot sooner. And I think tonight we finally get to do the opposite. We get to invite everyone in chat to talk about things that they wish had continued, things that they
Yeah.
wish, they get a sequel to or get to,
Get more.
get more and have a bit of fun with. So.
Yeah. And I mean I think we're gonna fight.
Yes, no, there is definitely fights. Just looking at what we have in terms of tabs for imagery that we pre-plan, we have a shit ton to talk about. We have
We do.
a lot more sitting in the lines of series for tonight, but that's because movies ended for their own rights. Games sort
Yeah,
of
and if
just get
if we didn't
ignored.
get a sequel to a movie, it's usually deserved.
Usually, yes. But you might. I'm still gonna argue. I enjoyed it. Okay, but we will get to that one. So for anyone in chat, anyone that is listening, or to all of our viewers, I don't know if we have any, but if we do, welcome. If you guys have any things, any things you want to talk about, throw them in chat. By all means, we don't mind. We love your comments and we love interacting with you. But I think on that note,
We're gonna hop into
we're
your
gonna
list.
hop into it. So as professionals as we do, we created a list between each other for no apparent fucking reason. Oh my!
But it's not
Shit's
no reason.
no,
We
no
need
apparent.
to.
It's a reason. There's a reason. Just so we have a bit of flow. But I'm going to start with my list because I kind of came up with it a lot earlier than Connor did.
Yes, yeah. Connor did his stuff when he sat down.
It's okay. Professional Connor, it's okay. But I think, yeah, so for me, a big one of these that I really enjoyed that I watched quite recently was a series called Deception. It's about a magician who helps
Oh right,
cops solve sort of mysteries and stuff like that, but how they
you
think it's.
you spoke to me about this during uh things that we enjoyed. One of our episodes you did
I
you
think it
did
was
tell me about
I think it was our throwbacks and
yes.
talking about some stuff that came up recently. But these are all old series that kind of only had one season, maybe two if you're lucky, and sort of just died out and weren't continued. But this being one of them that I really enjoyed, just taking the aspect of how they looked at magic and deception and stuff like that magicians use. Ooh, my eyes itchy. Oh yeah, cats.
It's my fault.
Yeah, that's alright. And use it to sort of show how they were deceiving the cops through all of this. I don't know. It was a really good series for anyone who hasn't watched it. I highly recommend watching it, even though I think it is only one season. It was still very good. I really enjoyed it. So I Hongli,
For Hongli,
yes, highly
Uh,
suggest it.
for most of your list, I can't actually comment because I haven't watched most of it. But yeah, it looks like Deception, yeah, one season, and it's got a 4.8 out of 5.
Like, how amazing is that? A 4.8 out of 5, and it was cancelled after one season.
Yeah, but remember that's the audience. That's the people who actually went out of their way to watch it.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of it always comes down to it's. I mean, there was a lot of movies I think we argued as well, like Treasure Planet, that was way before its prime, and people couldn't really appreciate it for what it was.
Yeah.
That's why I got a bit of hate. But I mean, again, I wasn't wrong then, and I'm not wrong now. It's a really good fucking series. So Treasure Planet, go watch it. But no, so moving on to, because again we've got a very large list, so we're gonna kind of go a bit through these.
We're gonna
a bit
speed
faster.
run.
Yeah, we're gonna speed run it. The next one I definitely agree with. My wife definitely agrees with. Series called Lie to Me. It is fantastic. Again, so a whole lot of these are these are series about people helping cops or whatever do their job. You find the killer, find the.
I love how like your first two are police procedurals.
Oh, what? Police procedure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was the method in which it is done. I mean, there was another one that I wanted to talk about, but for the life of me, I can never remember it. It's about this one's about a doctor who's managed to, like, he spent many years of his life learning how to read people's faces and figure out whether they're lying or not, and kind of uses that method to help fight crime. Yeah. But the other one I was thinking of was a schizophrenic college lecturer who has schizophrenia, sees all these people that are somehow involved in the death or give some linking to, and it's actually very good. I wish I knew the name of it. I don't know if anyone in chat. Oh my, but it itches so good when you scratch it. Sorry.
Are you good there, dude?
I am. I only just scratched my eye now. So my bad. I still got a lot of cat hair on me, because thanks to Squiggle, who wouldn't leave me the fuck alone. I can't remember the Perception was the name of it. My Courtsy in chat says this is my favorite show. Yes, it's definitely outside of Grey's Anatomy, which has gone on for too long. Lie to Me is completely the opposite. A really good show, a really good context. Again, a really amazing actor playing the main character, and didn't get a chance to continue. Kind of hurt me a bit. I really enjoyed the series, and I thought it was amazing. Let me see if I can find it. This is the other one I was talking about, called Perception. Another amazing series, a similar scenario, helping cops.
It's
do
a
their
dude
job.
with a special skill helping out the
Well,
cops.
we say special skill. He's he's just crazy in the fucking head, but he manages to help them out anyway. But yeah, again, another very good one. Definitely highly suggest anyone who knows about it. I don't think this is probably one that, I don't know if it was cut too early. I'm not 100% sure, but one I wish I did see more of. So definitely up there for me. I don't know about you.
No, I've not seen. I'm not a big fan of police procedurals. Like
Yeah.
the only one that I've watched that I can say is like Lucifer, because that's it's a special dude helping out the police.
Well, he's had his time to shine. I think he had an adequate
yeah.
7 seasons.
Really?
Yeah, only 7. Still very good though. Still amazing. Another one which a lot of people watching Netflix that might have watched. I think it is still on Netflix. I definitely suggest you to watch the Santa Clarita Diet. It
Just
kind of skips
imagine.
past the idea of how the main one of the main characters became a zombie, and more of let's deal with her
What
being a zombie.
happens afterwards?
Yeah, just how she has to live her life afterwards, and the husband just cleaning up after her and doing all
That
of
that
doing the good
from
husband shit.
from the little that I have seen of it, it's like what a good husband would do.
Yeah,
His
it
wife's
is.
a zombie. Steph in the chat, we deserve to know what happened to Timothy Oliphant.
Oliphant,
Yeah, he's the
yes,
husband.
yes.
Well, I have not watched the show. My wife keeps telling me to go and watch it, and I just
No, I definitely agree with you. It's one you definitely should watch. But again, it's the sad fact that it was cancelled. It's no longer on, so it kind of leaves you on a cliffhanger. You want to know more,
but
and
but that's Netflix's thing.
yeah,
It's
they
just
cancel shit left,
cancel
right, and
show.
center. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if all these other things were on Netflix at the same time. No, but definitely, it's kind of, and it has a hell of a lot of comedy to it. It's not a serious show. They don't focus. There's no drama. It's comedy
Yeah,
from
it's
beginning to end.
it is a comedically focused show.
Yeah, no. So anyone, definitely should watch it. I know myself. I have. My wife has. Your wife has. Connor, you need to.
I'll get around to it.
But yeah, we'll move on. Another one, which okay, so there's a bit of discrepancy between you and I for this. So we know it was cancelled, then brought back as Heroes Reborn, but Heroes Reborn was horseshit. I wish the first iteration of Heroes had continued correctly. It was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Heroes, the first season was excellent. It was like groundbreaking. The whole save the cheerleader, save the world thing was awesome. It was really great. But
Save the cheerleader. The cheerleader could regrow limbs. She cut off her own fucking toe to do so.
yeah, but it's because if Skylar got her power and then the world, yeah. But the quality was a steady decline from season 2 onwards. Like the characters were all great. I loved.
I think it was an idea that this was going nowhere slowly, and
And
everyone
they
sort of gave up for it.
They were like, okay, we have no idea what we're doing, and everyone, the rats were like, okay, we're gonna keep doing that.
Yeah, you go do you. I'm gonna play on my twit. That's pretty much what they did. I mean, they kind of just let the story die out, and then meddled with it a little bit, and then failed at the same time, and kind of they just gave up. I mean, the cast itself was amazing. The acting
Yeah.
was really good. Now, if they continued a very good story from season 1, they could have made another banger of a series.
Yeah. If they came up with a hook as good as the first seasons, it would have been awesome.
And
But
again, it's a world full of superhero or people with powers. Wouldn't necessarily say superheroes, but so many opportunities for you to do things,
and they still failed.
and they still fucked it all up.
Look, this is like it would be cool to see more heroes if they got good writers in, but for me, with what we have, and if it was the same circumstances, I'd say nah, there's enough heroes.
Yeah,
Both heroes and heroes reborn.
yeah.
There is enough.
Look, I mean, I skipped past Heroes Reborn sufficiently to know that I don't care about Heroes Reborn. I
It's like,
just really enjoyed Heroes. Yeah, I just wished Heroes itself continued.
Well, it was better.
Yeah, well, not better, just looked after. Put it that way. Moving on to another one that I really enjoyed when I was younger. I watched with my family. Numbers. Again,
a guy
another
with a special skill
not
helping
really.
the police.
They're just good at math.
No, he's not good at math.
He's fucking.
He's the best at math.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
Look,
ever a discussion about autism or something like that the main character has. I'm not quite sure, because usually that's how a lot
No,
of this
I think,
works.
but back then there wasn't as big a focus on mental health and stuff like that. So I just assume he was smart.
I don't know. I think I'd put it because I mean he was also a socially awkward scenario person, so I don't know. I can't answer it. They probably didn't give enough shits to put it on any form of wiki or anything like that. So again, another
No, no, there's a wiki.
yeah, but does it explain everything, or is
Usually
it
they
all
do.
like 2 paragraphs long?
It's several pages long.
Okay.
I'm just going to check if
Control F
David.
to find autism. We have roll 9 seconds. You're doing this while we are grinding Destiny. Thanks. Yes. Anyway, that's my brother, ladies and germs. Anyway, continuing with so I really enjoyed the series. Watched it a lot when I was young. Thought it
No,
was amazing.
it just said that he was a maths prodigy. So just good at math. Or again, he's not good at math. He's the best at math. Charlie Epps.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but Numbers was a lot of fun. Like they did a lot in the way of like explaining how he comes up with this.
Yeah.
Or with how they're calculating what went on. And they did it in the style of how they went about displaying, when he dumbs down how he's worked certain things out, it makes you feel smart.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
it's explaining this.
It makes it extremely interesting. I think there's another one called Scorpion. Watch that as well. It's about a whole bunch of a really intelligent group of people that help deal with old crises and shit like that, using science, technology, and all that type of shit. Which is again another very good series. Also, kind of ran short, so
4
definitely.
seasons.
Yeah, again.
Scorpion.
Yeah, no. So again, another series that could have really done extremely well, but kind of missed its chance. So
Royal 9 seconds and
in the chat, alphas. Actually, that is one we will be getting to. That is on our list, but we are going to deal with everything else first, because up next actually is one that was a bit more recent, but again kind of died out or got cancelled if I'm not mistaken too early. One I really enjoyed, and again it's a DC series, Constantine. I loved the series. My wife enjoyed the series. Yeah, you're not a big fan. We understand. That doesn't matter. The series itself.
Keep my mouth shut.
Have you even watched the series?
No, because I
exactly.
Don't know
you can't complain if you don't know
palm.
about it. Again, I've watched it myself, and I say it was really fucking good. My wife as well. Again, she will probably put it in chat saying that she really enjoyed it at the same time. So I mean, you can't knock it till you've tried it. That's my biggest thing.
Look, I've got a thing for Hellblazer and no. Shall we move on?
I will put it as, trust me, Constantine was very good. Unfortunately, it is again left on the cliffhanger. Doesn't continue. Kind of annoying, but he does show up throughout the other bigger DC series like Arrow and stuff like that. So for anyone who is interested,
I mean, he's not gonna be in it, but in the TV series, but Constantine was a big part of Sandman as well.
Yes. So again,
look, John Constantine is a big mainstay in DC, especially in the Vertigo side.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And for any of you who might have missed it, there were single iteration or movies done for John Constantine with the same title. The Keanu Reeves Constantine.
Terrible.
Which again, very argumentative. Some things were good, some things were not so good, but we'll put that one aside. And I'll just say that the series was done a hell of a lot better. There's obviously easier with the CGI, everything worked just as well. Again, done in the right era, in my personal opinion. But we'll move on to another one, as again we do have a massive list, so we are going to kind of fly through these. This one wasn't short. I think it ran 8 seasons. Castle, but
Castle. Let's find out.
Yeah,
8 seasons.
It ran
of
8
Castle.
seasons of Castle, but again, well, I don't know. I seem to there seems to be a bit of a um, theme here with me and
Police procedural.
yeah, police procedurals.
With a special power, special skill, helping out.
Yeah, so we have Courtesy say in chat saying she enjoyed Constantine and he's got a fabulous accent. Yes, I agree. I'm definitely happy with that. So I'm just saying, dude, if you want to, if you wanna watch it, I'm not gonna say no. I would say watch it. Very good. But again, same with Castle. I mean, again, very good actor being played. I mean, yes, he as Royal 9 Seconds in chat does say, yes, it's Cade 6. He does act as Cade 6 from
Really?
Destiny. Yeah,
Who? Nathan Fillion?
Yeah. He's the
Oh.
voice of Cade 6.
Oh, yes, of
in
course
Destiny.
he is.
Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. So for any of you who don't know, he is a voice actor, still very good. I mean, he is mentioned in one of your series coming up. Very good.
Yep.
Royal 9 Seconds, your voices are sexy and you should voice Minecraft characters. No, thank you. Anyway, moving on to the very next one. I'll put it that this, I know your wife has wanted something to talk about. This is one I wanted to talk about. I really enjoyed this. This was Reaper. It's very, very old series.
I
Kinda just came
remember
and
that
disappeared.
when my wife and I started dating, she was on the series, and yeah, it ran for what, a season, maybe 2 or 3. Reaper.
Yeah, I think it only ran for about two seasons.
Let's have a look. 2 seasons.
Yeah, 2 seasons. Very good. Just again, the whole premise. This wasn't okay. This is not a police procedural thing, but
But it's a guy with us.
guy with a secret ability. Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of the shit we watch nowadays is about people with abilities. So
Yeah, but that's because we're fucking nerds, Dylan.
yeah. Well, again, that's why do you think a lot of what I've enjoyed has been because of the shit I watch? The things I enjoy nowadays is because of the stupid things like this, where it talks about people having ability of some sort, being able to do something that other people can't.
But I think Reaper maybe was not, the timing was wrong on it. But it did pave the way sort of for a lot of the sitcom-y stuff that we watch now.
Yeah, I mean, it does take a lot of seriousness out of what we see in today's actions.
So Steph in the chat says loved Reaper. It was a clever concept and it just oozed mid-2000s. That's the thing, is it's got that mid-2000s stink on it.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the hairstyles of, first of all, the two main characters right there.
Yeah, you can smell the mid-2000s.
You can smell the heavy wax. Yeah, the heavy wax and daddy issues.
and the pop punk starting, like intro music.
Yeah, well, okay, you can't judge me for saying daddy issues because technically he does have daddy issues. His dad sold his soul to the devil to make him feel well, to heal his illness. So yes, I am definitely putting daddy issues at this is Reaper, daddy issues 1.0. The
1.0.
Moving on to the next one that we have here is, again, as Royal 9 Seconds in chat to talk about, was Alphas. Another, not really helping cops with doing their own thing, sort of helping people with special abilities that can do cool things.
Yeah, but this is less of a helping the police, and this was more along the lines of
no, this is
of
helping
heroes.
people. Yeah, this is helping people with abilities. I mean,
Yeah.
the character you see right in front created a bit of like a smaller organization to assist those with special abilities and give them a working life and stuff like that to be able to do things. And it was just amazing. There was like different concepts for all of them, but I enjoyed every single part of the series. It was, again, very short, but definitely one up there that I wish it continued. Moving on to the next we have is a series called Forever. So I found this, a lot of these that I found through Facebook. When you're watching those Facebook trailers about things.
Yeah.
and it just comes up with like an interesting
But
concept or whatever. And
so I
this is
didn't
one of
know
them.
what Forever was. So I went and I had a look, and you know what I found out about it?
What?
It's a guy with a special skill
Not
to help
really.
him the
Well,
police.
no. So he's just a mortician. Every
Except
time,
he's immortal.
yes and no. There's again, you got to watch the series to understand more about it. But so every time he dies, he just wakes up in in this river, which is one of the main rivers in New York. He will get like reborn there as his full adult self and carry on as if nothing had ever happened. So I mean, you watch him die, you watch him come out of the water a few times, but he operates as a mortician. Again, not a lot of it isn't really focused around the deaths of other people and stuff. It's more of how he deals with life being immortal. So I would suggest this. I think there was still a bit more for me to watch, but again, not enough to have a full sit through for. Moving on to another. This is onto your list actually.
Yes.
Moving on to Freaks and Geeks, with a
Yes.
lot of good actors that we know today. For a lot of
So,
you who don't know it,
Freaks and Geeks was a Judd Apatow driven series. Judd
Yeah.
Apatow, you'll know now for stuff like This Is 40 and let me bring up his rap sheet quickly.
I'll be honest. This
Knocked
is
up 40-year-old. Sorry, Dol.
no,
Knocked up 40-year-old virgin. This Is 40. He's
a
like
lot
the
of
king
comedic shit.
of super bad, Anchorman, Bridesmaids, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. He's like the king of stoner comedy.
Stoner comedy.
Yeah.
So specifically for you who like your mountain weeds.
Mountain cabbage. But it was also the beginning of James Franco and Seth Rogen's time, like working together.
Yeah.
But it also had stars that later went on to become much bigger, like Linda Cardellini, Jason Segel, who's another mainstay in Apatow's work, John Francis Daly, Martin Starr, who's done everything from Silicon Valley to Spider-Man Nowhere, not No Way Home, Far From Home.
Far from it, yeah.
Yeah, and we only got one season. This is another show that I think was fairly like ahead of its time, and it wasn't appreciated for what it was the message it was trying to come across at the time.
Yeah.
Since it's now become a cult classic with a huge fan base behind it.
You mean a pop culture?
Yeah, I guess. And I don't know, it's a lot of fun. I don't know if it's for everyone, but I'll give it a try.
Definitely.
Uh,
Probably will. Do you want to move on to your next?
Daybreak, which is zombies, but it's teenagers having fun with
A guy without special ability.
a guy without special abilities, not helping the cops. No, but it's
I think there's a cop there somewhere in the photo.
yeah, but it's a zombie.
Mhm.
So in this, everybody over a certain age becomes a zombie. And it's about like a community of teenagers trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. Stylistically, it's fun. It's got its issues. Like there's some stuff that's not amazing about it. Some of the writing, some of the acting, but it's a fun series where you can just turn your brain off.
How many
And you can
seasons did
just
it run for anyone who might be interested?
I
One.
think. Let me go and double check. Daybreak.
For anyone who might be a bit interested, just know that all of the stuff we mentioned does not run that long. So Daybreak, Stefan chat says Daybreak was a lot of fun. Super simple. You can tell its target demographic though. Well, yeah, I mean it's all about the
and it
the younger
uses
generation.
the F word. Yeah, it only ran for one season, and again, it's another one that's got a 4.4 as it's 4.4 out of 5.
Again, another very good one, which they don't like confirming why things are cancelled or why they decide to do what they do. and they really should.
But then again, this is Netflix, and Netflix just
Yeah.
loves canceling
It's
stuff.
like, oh, you
out of
enjoyed
the
this?
blue.
How about no?
How
No more
about no?
for-
How
yeah.
about we like that? That was the big thing. We almost had Umbrella Academy on this list.
Oof, that would have
Ah.
made a really rough time. So for anyone in chat who has any other ideas of series, we are going to continue on to our next one. By all
But
means,
yeah,
throw them up. We'll discuss. We'll see if we've spoken about, if we know about them first of all. If we don't, you can give us a little rendition or a little explanation of how it works. But
So, next one is Terra Nova. Just bringing up.
so I
the-
think I watched this. I can't 100% confirm. Probably watched again. This is old.
Oh right.
series.
Okay. So I just read the blurb now, and so basically, this the Earth is gonna end. Like the end of the world is here, climate crisis, whatever. But people are now they found a way to time travel, but not in the cool way. Just until 1,000,000 years in the past. So this guy, like soldiery dude, is like, okay, I'm gonna take my family back to the
My family.
Jurassic period, and they go back and they're trying to, survive.
I think I have watched this. I think this one ran for about 3 seasons.
No, 13 episodes.
13 episodes. I think I did watch this. They had actually built a community with sort of a fencing
Yeah.
around it with giant spikes and shit to keep out, obviously, large dinosaurs and shit like that.
Yeah,
I think I actually did watch this many, many years ago.
it came out in 2011. So this was a time where stuff like nerd shit wasn't
Big.
fondly. Yeah, it wasn't looked on very fondly. I watched it on Mnet,
Yep.
like
Back in the days of
and
having
back
DSTV.
in the day before we had on demand.
Yeah.
And it was good. It's it was up my alley because
Fantasy dinosaurs, yeah.
it's
Different worlds.
dinosaurs. And I mean it was cool. And look, I think it may have also been the writing, the acting there. It wasn't as good as it could have been because effort wasn't put into these series back then. Not
Yeah.
not like it is now, where we get the best people on.
But I mean, even
Sci-fi and
again, for
fantasy.
back then, from 2016, CGI and that started doing.
2011, dude.
Yeah, but it's. Oh, well, no. So, yeah, I was about 16 around then. So,
Are we that old?
yes, we are. Connor,
Oh
1995
shit, we
and onwards.
are.
Yeah, so Royal 9 Seconds in chats asks about Chuck. Chuck was actually another one I was thinking about, but also it did run for
Chuck ran for a long
for
while.
a while, but again, it did that thing that series do where they stopped throwing effort and time into it, and it sort of brought itself down and derailed. So-
Chuck ran for 5 seasons. I mean, Chuck was very cool. Like I really enjoyed it for the most part, but it got a bit too complicated and
Yeah, I mean, it's a
You
guy
know,
with a kick-ass watch that can make him do. I mean, you're watching Tuxedo, but series form in a watch.
no,
That's-
it's not the watch that gives him the abilities.
Oh,
It's
it's
the
does he have a chip or something in his head?
no. He can decode, like if he sees an image that's made up of thousands of little images, he can take that in and basically decode every single and recall every single image, and he gets I think it's like the entire CIA database thrown into his brain, and he can just like he doesn't have the ability for the first few seasons to
Yeah. So
recall it on command, but like he'll just
he kind of has flashbacks of all
Yeah.
of these things, and he just like is able to do a whole bunch of shit. So, unfortunately, Royal Nine Seconds in chat says, "What about the show where everyone in the world blanks out and had visions of their lives?"
he's on point. That's flash forward. That's actually on my
Okay,
list.
so that is one we will get to. Thank you. I couldn't remember the name of it. I think I remember the show as well. But we'll move on to the next one. One that you enjoyed.
Happy Endings is a warm hug of a sitcom for me. It is so much fun. It's about a group of 6 friends who it all starts out with the two of the main characters who are just about to get married, and the one runs out on the other, and she then comes back, and it's them living not together, but being a friend group in Chicago, and it was fun. It was stupid, and it was very quotable. I highly recommend it if you're into that kind of thing. Ow. I keep bashing my head.
I don't think I've seen anything about happy endings, but for if you're interested in just random
It ran
comedy,
for 3 seasons.
yeah. So for anyone interested in just random banter comedy sort of scenario, by all means, happy endings. Another suggestion.
And I'm convinced that this is the originator of saying
I heard none of
happy-
that.
can you hear me?
Yeah. Your mic just broke up a bit.
I'm sure that this is the originator of the phrase "shut your whore mouth."
Huh. One I use often.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Probably
something
real
I'll have
nice.
to watch
Happy
then.
Tree Friends. I think Happy Tree Friends went on long enough.
Yeah, so regarding Happy Tree Friends, it was a thing you watched on your phone. It wasn't really a series.
You didn't sit down and
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't
queue
something you turned on the
Happy Tree
TV.
Friends.
You didn't
It
turn
wa-
on the TV to watch Happy Tree Friends. You went
No,
into
it
your
was something
room,
on MTV at like 11:30 when there's nothing else to
yeah, and
watch
you
on.
mute the TV. No, Happy Tree Friends was just like fucking death and blood and gore about on cartoons. So, not one you definitely put on TV. Another one here, Roll 9 Seconds put is The Dome. I don't
think
agree
he
with
mean-
The Dome.
Does he mean Under the Dome?
Under the
one that's
Dome,
based
yes.
on Stephen King's book.
Yeah, where a dome just comes out of nowhere, slams, and it splits that whole cow in half. A plane flies into the dome. All other people on it don't manage to escape, and they often refer to the monarch butterfly in the series. I don't know. It's after the first season for Under the Dome for me, it went downhill. I could not like stay focused to watch.
So I went and I looked at like the why was it cancelled. Perhaps one of the biggest factors that contributes to the series getting cancelled is that the writers weren't able to give the show proper structure.
Yeah,
And
so
that's the core of this kind of a show.
it kind of just falls apart.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, a big thing Under the Dome. It had a good premise in the beginning, but then it kind of just
Dude, it's a Stephen King. It's based on a Stephen King novel. Of course, it's good.
Yeah, but when it was turned into a series, again they didn't do such a very good job. They chose an amazing cast.
Oh no, the cast was great.
Yeah, but the series itself kind of just went downhill. Moving on to another one I know I definitely also agree with Firefly.
Firefly.
Yes.
It is the
yes.
it is the poster boy for shows that were cancelled too soon.
And I am a nerd because I've watched this.
Look, it was Joss. I think was it Firefly. Let me just go double check. I'm sure it was. Yeah, it's Joss Whedon, and I mean he's huge now. But Joss Whedon also created Buffy and a whole bunch of stuff. But it was great. I mean, it was, and not only was it watched by, it was commercially successful and it was critically successful. So most people don't know why it was cancelled.
Roll 9 seconds in chat asking about Celebrity Deathmatch.
What is Celebrity Deathmatch?
It was I think an Adult Swim make of. Literally, it's just Celebrity Deathmatch where they put.
It says this is another one that you don't sit down to watch. This is something that you find on Adult Swim or MTV at fucking midnight because you've nothing else to watch on.
This is not something if you watch and your mother comes in and sees you watching this, not one you would be watching. No, Royal in chat does say The Brave was a show I really enjoyed but was cancelled because countries got upset.
What is The Brave?
The Brave it's another war guy without special abilities. My brother's extremely into war, or not really war, but army series and stuff like that. So he has a massive list of all of these types of things. So I don't know. I don't think I really spent much time watching The Brave, but could have been.
But just before we move on the note of Firefly, we did get a movie.
Yes.
Firefly. Sorry, I'm just yeah, we just called Firefly the movie. Granted that Serenity was the name, and granted it tied up Firefly. You know, it answered all the questions that were left over from the first season.
Yeah, I think because
But
they kind of had the
they
scenario
had the
of we're ending.
fans.
Let's just give the fans what they need to know.
But so Serenity came out in 2005. Firefly ended in 2002. So that's like 3 years worth of fans going, we need more. We need more now. But Firefly, even though we got Serenity, I think we need more Firefly. Like we need the length or the ability to tell longer, more complex stories that a series affords,
Yeah,
rather than just a movie.
without getting like it's getting kind of bland. Let's not go
Yeah,
too
without
far.
without like trying to pack all the like a ton of story into 2 hours.
One that just came up from Royal 9 Seconds in chat talking about an anime, saying the writer of The Misfit of Demon King Academy died last month from COVID. Rest in peace. So they're not sure if they'll be able to continue. I mean, that's another rough reason why certain series and that aren't able to continue, having cast members or creators and stuff like that pass on, which is
Kentaro Moira, who wrote and illustrated Berserk, passed away in May. And I mean, Berserk was huge. Thank you very much for the follow.
big thank you to Royal 9 Seconds for following us. We have Wallow in chats, unfortunately, having to find out
this way.
Yeah, find out the worst way.
But yeah, and I mean, Berserk was on hiatus because Kentaro Moira was very sick.
But I mean, if you're looking at this, and we've spoken about this in the past, where when creators of certain shows pass on or no longer have the rights to continue with the show, and they try and continue with it, it always goes downhill. No one can ever make it the same as what it was. So I mean, looking at Misfits of Demon King Academy, it would be another big thing. I mean, if the show was amazing in the beginning, the creator dies.
I want to just see if
it's sort of
if it was the manga art, the mangaka, or if it was the author Shu.
Yeah, so Steph chat says death of important people hasn't stopped some movies and TV series. Yeah, but they haven't always been better off.
Yeah, usually when the creator passes on
of someone important, like even if it's an actor, you can't just replace the character. People are gonna know. I mean, they've spent years watching this type of thing, and then the person dies. You can't just carry on.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm very interested to see what Marvel does with which I get sad every time I see his character, but T'Challa, Black Panther.
To see,
I'm interested
how they continue.
What they're gonna do to continue, because what was his name?
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman. He's left, like his passing has left this huge hole in the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, finally Black Panther got
and not only did it get its time in the spotlight.
It did fucking amazingly.
It was and I mean, Chadwick Boseman. It was the same thing with Robert Downey Jr. and all these actors that we've been speaking about now embodying the characters.
Where where you're referencing the character, and the character is the actor, and the actor is the character. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, definitely. Yeah, that's why okay, so we do say most of the time there are every once in one gem scenarios where it continues to stay just as well as it had been before, but eventually, I mean, with writers dying, especially writers who have the ideas of how the creations are continuing stuff, that usually goes down. Wakanda forever from Royal 9 Seconds in chat. Got you there, brother. But yeah, so again, it's difficult to continue, and that's why we can't usually put it down. But going to Royal 9 Seconds' previous comments, talking about the series that's, well, referencing the series you couldn't remember, the series Flash Forward. Another one of yours on your list.
And I mean, Flash Forward, so it is based on a book, but I think it's of the same name. Flash Forward. Just double checking quickly. Adapted from Flash Forward. Yes. So the book was by Robert J. Sawyer, and they had a similar
situation.
The what happened in it was the same, but the length of time was different. So in the series, you know, it's CERN, CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research.
Yeah.
Where they've got the CERN superconductor, I think it's called. Yeah, so they've got the Large Hadron Collider. Sorry.
Yes.
So basically, in the series, CERN does their thing, and everybody blacks out. And the people who survive blacking out, those who aren't driving or flying a plane or doing something that would kill them, they see their life in.
Well, how long would it take a plane to hit the ground if a pilot went out for 2 minutes and 7 seconds? Autopilot.
So everybody blacks out and sees their life. I think in the show it was like a year in advance. Original 6 months into the future, but in the book it was 21 and a half years.
Shit.
Into they saw into the future. And the big frustration with the series is like it set up all these mysteries about what caused it, what were a lot of people seeing. Like one guy saw himself walking down the aisle and he couldn't quite see who he was walking down the aisle to, and it was, you know, a lot of all these little mysteries that you're waiting to get resolution for.
Yeah.
And then the season ended and we never got a second and that was
like with all of these, I mean, you watch them and you think they're really good, you think they're going to be amazing, but then either something political or something dire like a death or something heavily affects it, and you're like,
or an exec just goes, nah.
Yeah, and like, look, I feel sorry for you for making bad decisions if you're executive and you do that. I feel sorry for the political shit, and I feel sorry for anyone who does. But come the fuck on. Let the shit continue. It was really good. Let us enjoy it. Real 9 Seconds talking about Angel, the series. So another misconception for a lot of people, not a misconception, a view of a lot of people, that Angel itself wasn't really good. It was good back then. I watched this.
Buffy stands up. Angel doesn't. They were both.
Buffy the fuck up slayer. I don't care about her. I really enjoyed Angel. It was one of those shows that we sat. I mean, the family sat in the living room on the living room couch, like 4 people, 1 couch, watching this series, and it was like the euphoria of the scenario of what's going on. You're spending time with family and stuff like that. That kind of made me enjoy the situation in watching this series and kind of made it very good. So, yes, I'm very upset that Angel ended.
Okay, so I want you to go and do something go and watch Buffy and then go and watch Angel and tell me that they're as good.
No, I am sticking to the memory of what I know with Angel. The series I thought was really good.
You refuse to take off your nostalgia glasses.
No, I mean that's the whole point for all of this. That's the whole point of my pop culture life, is my nostalgia to everything. And if I go watch it now, I'm gonna know it's horseshit. But I mean, back then when we started watching it, this is the reason why we watch what we do today is because of all the shit in the past. Angel was one of them. Royal says, I think I just watched the wrong Addams Family movie. Probably. Very much probably.
So next I have, staying in line with Flash Forward is My Name is Earl. You know, My Name is Earl. He
Yes.
sees into the future. No, but you don't get to see Earl complete his list, and that was frustrating because we spent so much time with these characters.
And more ratchet-looking Margaret Robbie was available for any of you who have that trailer trash feel, and
Jamie Presley, yeah.
Jamie Presley, yeah. So
But,
definitely,
you know,
I think it was one thing that I really enjoyed. Was also I think we watched this on ETV, not SABC4 ETV.
and I mean,
watched this for quite a bit.
it was like we watch these characters go. A lot of them go from like these scumbag redneck, you know, like unlikable people, and we see them change and grow and become better people.
Yeah,
And for me, the frustration was never getting to see the resolution, never getting to see Earl finish his list.
yeah.
Which, you know, you spend so much time with these characters getting to this point, and then to have
And,
that robbed
You know,
as a
with the
fan.
whole premise behind it being around something specific as completing a list, like a bucket list or whatever you'd have, like not being able to see that end doesn't only ruin it for the creation of the story. You've not ruined it for however
for
many
fans.
hundred thousands or whatever amount of people watching it. But again, assholes were born, and they decide to pull shit down. So I'm gonna leave that one there. No, I do agree. My Name was Earl was also very it was a comedy show. Had a bit of serious things that they were dealing with, if I can put it that way, like real life issues sort of scenarios, but kind of made it a bit enjoyable.
Definitely.
Moving on to your next one, one I also have enjoyed. For the you nerds out there that enjoy your here's the internet, it's all in a single box reference.
I think so. Yeah, it's the IT Crowd.
Yeah, for all of you who don't know, we're talking about the IT Crowd.
That this show was cancelled because it was too smart for. Again, it's another show where it was too early. You know, it people couldn't appreciate it then, and it was too smart. It was too highbrow for what a lot of TV viewers were looking for at the time.
Yeah. Waller and Blackleg referring to My Name was Earl is my first introduction to Margot Robbie. I think that was 99.9% of people's first introduction.
It wasn't Margot Robbie though. It was Jamie Presley. It looks the same.
Wait.
It's not Margot Robbie, my dude. The yeah.
Oh,
Joy
it
Turner.
is. Yeah.
It's
James Presley. Wow. Jamie?
Jamie Presley. Yeah, it's not Margot Robbie. She just looks similar.
Shit. For all of you who didn't know, like I am today years old, finding out that wasn't Margot Robbie. Oh fuck! I think we should just end the stream right there. I should just stop doing a pop culture. Waller in chat. Wait, what? Yeah, no, I just googled it now. It is not Margot Robbie. I don't know what to do with myself after learning something like that.
You need to go like sit in the shower. And next up we have Daredevil, which was Daredevil.
Yes, sorry.
Which was for me the best of the Defenders show.
Yeah, so
shows
for taking it from a series that everyone watched when they were a series of movies. No, I think there was just 2 movies, but he did appear in Elektra, I think. But you're taking from one. Yes.
Well, I'm like in the chat. Wait, now there's 2 of them. Great.
I say series of movies because the Daredevil appeared in across films, but talking about Daredevil himself, gone from what we had watched in a movie.
Oh, that terrible Ben Affleck movie.
Yeah, that horrible, one of many horrible Ben Affleck movies. To something that was actually done extremely well in terms of a series. I really enjoyed this. from the series format that it had
Yeah,
compared to
look,
the movie.
most of the Defenders show were great, but Daredevil had, like the most, the best legs on it. It could go further than the rest.
Were you
And
staring at the man's legs?
dude, I'm staring at all of them. Well, again,
Had to go
Charlie
back.
Cox.
Just had to go back and Google Margaret Robbie and My Name Is Earl, and the first thing you get is Margaret Robbie and Jamie Presley are basically twins. Yes, this is why a lot of people's childhoods have now been ruined. For anyone who thought it was Margaret Robbie, I think, if I'm not mistaken, though, when when a lot of people started talking about Margaret Robbie appearing in Suicide Squad, a lot of them had made reference to My Name Is Earl. And I think that's where the biggest mistake for everyone else started coming up, is no one did a double check.
Nobody was like, no, it's not.
Like, I mean, there literally is a half photo of both of them, and they look identical. It is scaringly fucking accurate. So, Wallow, we will just count that as Margaret Robbie.
There's two of them. That's great.
Yeah, there's two of them. That's great.
But yeah, Daredevil, I'm just now praying that everybody's rumors and speculations and theories that Charlie Cox is going to be in Spider-Man are true, and that we're actually going to see him be Peter's lawyer for 5 seconds before he rips apart the multiverse.
Well, let's see, because
let's see.
With a lot
Charlie, I'm going to take your guys' stance on this. When Charlie Cox is in,
throw it out into the universe, Con. No, so a big discussions that have been coming out, like, a lot of people are talking, like, there's news about this character being involved and news about that character. When you go and look for the cast list of the new Spider-Man, they refuse to update it according to news that they have released.
Yep. So, I mean, there's so much speculation around that movie.
Just a few more months, Con. Just October, November, December. You can do it.
Yeah, and I mean, we can disperse it with Hawkeye.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got Venom this month and Eternals next month, so we're good. We'll keep that up.
So my next one is Faulty Towers.
Yes. Okay, so I am definitely on this bandwagon. I remember your wife did mention the name before the stream, and you and I definitely agreed on this. It was amazing. BBC, old Brits, sort of styled series, but again, the cast, the humor, it was fantastic.
So Faulty Towers wasn't actually cancelled like a lot of the shows we're talking about here. Faulty Towers, it was a decision made by the creative team behind it to end it, because it was at its peak. It was at its best when they ended it, and they wanted to leave, especially having people like John Cleese, who, having been part of Python, and him having a lot of experience in the comedic area of British television, he knew what he was doing, and the creative team then deciding to end it, to leave that legacy. It's why we're still talking about it today, because of the legacy that Faulty Towers left.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't leave a bad taste, if I could put it that way. It didn't end in a bad manner. But I mean, it ran for 2 seasons, for something that is so well written in its show and its comedy and stuff like that. A lot, and another show you and I can talk about, Mrs. Brown's Boys. The same sort of scenario, that it's how well it did, even if in its peak, I'm sure it could have still done very, very well. I mean, with a lot of things being brought out, like BritBox being brought out, type of stuff. This is definitely a show that, if it had continued, could still do very well.
It could have, but this is one of the few that I'm glad that it, like, I'd love to see more.
But it didn't leave a bad taste that it ended.
No, and I'm glad that it ended with the level of quality, the quality comedy that was there.
Yeah.
When it ended.
So for all of you who want to know, Faulty Towers ended the right way. We found something that has ended the right way for once.
Yes.
Besides
are
a whole bunch
happy.
of movies that we are happy just ended.
we would like more, but we're happy that it ended the way it did.
Waller Blacklake.
Uh,
Python? I didn't know John Cleese was a programmer.
Stupid, useless information time. The creator of the language Python was watching Faulty Towers. Oh no, it wasn't. He was watching
Monty
Monty Python while creating the Python language, and that is why it's called Python. It is the name of the language is a direct reference to Monty Python.
Oh, how about that, Keegan?
Cool.
Fuck you and your ideas.
So your little joke
has merit. That is actually something I didn't know. But again, Faulty Towers, moving on to actually the next one of yours on the list, which
yes,
I really enjoyed, being Monty Python's Flying Circus. Continuing with John Cleese and just the same comedy, the same humor. Definitely things that I wish didn't end.
But so Flying Circus, because of when it came out, and the Python crew was very, very crass. They were, they had humor that was not family friendly.
Yeah, well, if you've watched a whole bunch of the Monty Python movies, you would know.
But the thing that I think is the Python movies were harder to come by. You had to deliberately go out and find and go to a cinema or get a hold of a VHS or a Betamax of a Python movie. But Flying Circus was on BBC. It was on public broadcast television, so it was far easier to get to, and they had so much more time to do the most deranged shit, like the.
Just have Waller Blacklake in chat. My joke is smart. I totally meant to do that.
Flying Circus.
But I think a lot of this, there was another series with. Oh, I'm forgetting it now. Similar in terms of the comedy and stuff like that. Again, I was brought up on a lot of this type of television shows and stuff like that because of my father. Another one, old British with what's Mr. Bean?
Rowan Atkinson.
Rowan Atkinson. Let me see.
But while you're looking there, like a lot of aside from the absurd situations, like the Ministry of Funny Walks or the place where you can go and have you can pay to have an argument. A lot of their stuff was a lot more like risque, and it was far heavier on the innuendos.
Yeah.
And like the observational humor was also it's not for everyone.
Yeah, the other one I was thinking of was Blackadder.
Blackadder, yes. Blackadder is amazing. The 4th season is the best.
But again, it's the same situation of the comedy, unless there is a bit of intellect required or knowledge of certain scenarios and stuff.
You can't switch your brain off and watch these shows. You have to like internalize what's going on and process the joke.
Yeah, and if you manage to catch it quick enough, it's hilarious. I mean, they aren't that difficult to understand. So a lot of people will be like, how is that funny? Where other people would be cracking up laughing.
But you have to pay attention.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I mean, you've got to pay attention from beginning to end. But they were just amazing in what they came up with, how they made jokes about certain things, certain situations. I mean, they threw politics and shit out the window, and they just made every situation, every scenario about their movies and series just flat out funny, no matter what. I thought it was very, very amazing creations.
But Python has always been, smarter humor. Well, I wouldn't say necessarily smarter humor, but it's very obscure.
Yeah, not everyone would understand it. Not everyone. That's why I said it's sort of you had to know about the situation in
Yeah,
order for it to be funny.
you have to have this like ambient context
Yeah.
for the joke to work.
Yeah, I mean a lot of stuff nowadays are like heavy references to certain scenarios. I mean, you talk about like South Park and the bigger things like that and The Simpsons that often make reference to political situations or real world situations. Those
Yeah.
things, if you're not a part of that government or know much about what's happening, that shit goes straight over your head. Whereas with this, it's more of what happened in that context. You've just got to
Yeah.
think, which made it, I don't know, for me, it made it a hell of a lot better. Even as a child, I still found this extremely good.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Moving
And
on
then
to the last one of your list,
my
Better
last
Off
one,
Ted.
yes, is
I have
so
never seen this.
Bear of Ted was it was very short lived. It's 2 seasons, 26 episodes. It's so Ted, the titular character, is a head of research and development for a fictional company, but it's these big conglomerates, soulless corporate companies.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of forced wall breaking, and like it's a lot of kind of stupid humor, like yeah. So there wasn't really storylines, as it would. It would they would have almost skits, but it would be contained in the serialized format.
Yeah.
I recommend it if you can find it. It's excellent, and it's I don't really know how to explain it.
So would you compare this the type of comedy along the lines of Mrs. Brown's Boys? Where
No,
intentional, not in terms of the
I'd put it
recording
more.
studio break, but the it's about what happens in the series or in that show at that particular time.
No, I'd say so. It's more like something like Modern Family or Parks and Rec or The Office. That's the one I was looking. Though it's done in a way that isn't this interview format. It's just Ted will be like speaking to someone. He is the narrator and a character, so
Yeah.
he'll turn to the camera and he'll speak to you as the viewer about something that's going on. But when he's breaking the fourth wall, most of the time the other characters can't see this happening. So it's excellent.
Sorry, I've been
highly
coughing like a retard, so I needed some juice. Thanks, Beb.
You can't say that word.
Coughing like a sick person. Sorry. Yes. Anyway.
Shall we move on to our fight?
Okay, yes. So our fight, and chat is definitely going to love this. I have brought up 4 movies that Connor absolutely disagrees on. But I'll explain my premise. So first of all, Percy Jackson. Now, Percy Jackson, the movie, the very first movie, The Lightning Thief, was the most amazing like rendition from the books that I've ever seen in terms of a Greek mythology movie. I mean, there aren't that many. If you're looking at series, you're looking at Vikings and stuff like that, which aren't that heavy into the Greek mythology scenario situations. But I mean, the premise is still there. I really love the books. I really love the very first movie. The second movie was absolute horseshit.
It really was bad.
And yes, I'm very excited that they are planning on doing a series for this. So I have
Every
a
time
glimmer of
Percy
hope.
Jackson has come up, you're like, yes, series.
Yes, I am. I mean, dude, my very first books that I've ever read were Percy Jackson series. So it was me in high school. I on the way to school, on the way from school, I was reading the books and stuff like that. So Percy Jackson was my start in terms of books and having that imagination, and then seeing the movie and that done extremely well. not the second one. We put that one aside in a little dark hole. But if they manage to do something amazing with the series, you will definitely not see me upset whatsoever.
Look, if they could like replicate what they did with the first movie into the second and third, and look, Percy Jackson could have easily been the next Harry Potter,
Yeah. So
but they screwed up.
yeah. So no, I'm just excited that the series is a possibility, and I cannot wait to see it become something. And I hope that more time and effort and I would say love is put into it. That it deserves, because Rick Riordan didn't spend a fuck ton of his life writing these types of books for it to get fucked off in a shitty second movie.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next one. Okay, so I brought this one up for the fans who have watched the movie, left you on a cliffhanger, and that was it. That's the last you saw of it. I really enjoyed I Am Number 4. I enjoyed the movie, and I hated the fact that it was left on such an open end. Like we spoke about Firefly ending the right way with the movie and explaining the ends and clearing everything up. This was not. The premise was good. I haven't read the books like you have, nerd. But from what I'd watched in the movie, I really enjoyed it.
Dude, the books are so good. They're so good. There's so much lore. There's so much cool shit that goes on.
But we didn't get the chance to see all of that.
No, we didn't, because they did a cash grab.
Yeah, so I know the movie itself had crashed and burned in
Hard.
its release, and obviously that's why they decided not to make another one. So fine, I'll leave it to them. But if they had continued with it, and if they tried to keep doing well at it, it could have been another very big collection.
Yeah, no, and the series, it was supposed to end on 9 books, but they had to carry it over to 10 because the story had ramped up so much. And I loved the casting. I thought that 4 and 6,
Yeah,
was it?
I think it was 6. But can we just know it again? It's a person with powers doing incredible
they're not.
things.
Helping the aliens, dude.
But again, it was the premise of it was good.
Yes, it is. Sorry,
it left you back. Yeah.
Number 6 was the one that is displayed in this movie, and I'm sad that we didn't get to see the rest of the Lorians. Because
that's my point. Like, the reason why I put this up there is there's so much more from a book perspective that can be given to those who have just watched the movies. That could have this could have gone really far for, but instead they just didn't. Because it flopped once, they left it dead. Which, understandable from a work perspective, but again, I still miss it.
I just wish they had done it justice.
I haven't read the books, okay, Connor. I enjoyed the fucking series, the movie. Anyway, moving on to one which I refuse to let you fight me on. Okay, John Carter. Now, fuck the books. Fuck if there's any books in that you have read that you care. Fuck the books aside. This movie, in the situation that it had come about and the time that it had come about, was completely out of the norm. The only thing I can equate to this, which was a horrible movie, was Jupiter Ascending. But this for me was a hell of a lot interesting, from the purpose of the scenario of the different planets and stuff like that, and the connection and all of that type of shit. I really enjoyed this. They didn't really leave it on an open ending. You gotta fix your face; it'll get stuck like that, Connor.
It was written by Edgar Rice Burroughs. He created Tarzan. So John Carter comes from The Princess of Mars. I just felt that this movie was so bogged down with CGI and them trying to look cool that they lost like when I say they lost the plot, they lost the actual plot.
Yeah, so no, so for me this is a mind-numbing movie that you can watch. I didn't care when I watched this movie, I didn't care too much about the deep lore as I would concern myself with like Dune that's coming up. I wouldn't care too much about that when it comes to John Carter. I mean, I enjoyed the premise of
Yeah,
the
well,
movie, the scenarios, all of that type of shit. It was
Dune is
awesome.
going to be, but Dune is going to be a very different.
Oh, you hope.
Yeah, if it's not, dude, I don't know. I'm gonna write everybody in that movie. I'm gonna find the email address. Very, very strongly worded email.
A very strongly worded letter.
Very
Send
strongly worded.
send it to them via
Okay,
messenger pigeon.
via snail mail. It'll arrive there in like 2 years' time. It'll be like,
No, the thing will be dead, dude. You ruined my child. You ruined what I knew best. No,
you,
so
you ruined sci-fi Lord of the Rings.
yeah.
God dare you.
So for me, this one was mostly around the premise of man gets taken from his place, or his place on Earth, put onto Mars, sort of has to deal with a lifestyle or now being there and trying to get back home. But then at the end, doesn't really want to. Spoilers, because he can jump really high. Again, I put all of the lore and shit aside, and I just enjoyed.
Effectively a god on Mars.
Yeah, so I put all of that lore aside, and I just enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, I'll always ignore the lore when it comes to this movie. It was just really well done. For anyone who doesn't know a lot about backstory, this one doesn't leave you asking questions. That's one thing I can say. If it didn't give you any answers in the first place, you wouldn't have any questions to ask. And that's why I'm okay with this one. Now, the fight that Chat wants to be involved with, okay? I know he himself has said it was horrible. Well, he regrets it, I think. I really enjoyed the Green Lantern, okay? Hear me out.
I don't think I'm even gonna. I'm not even gonna fight. I'm gonna let you dig this hole alone.
No, I will let everyone try and change my mind. The CGI in terms of computer generation was amazing. The acting for certain situations could have been a bit better, but from a Ryan Reynolds perspective, and again, he's the man, the myth, the legend, he obviously made this movie as enjoyable as it was. Now, if you want to go in terms of enemies, you're throwing 3 enemies into this. Again, DC, for once, we can actually see what's going on, so I am happy. But, it was a lot of confusion with a lot of, like, the first half of the movie was amazing. They slowed down the interaction from the character from before to becoming a Lantern. But then they sped up the process of him.
Did we need another origin superhero movie?
We didn't have a Green Lantern origin superhero movie.
Yeah, that's fine. We didn't have a Black Panther origin story.
The man came, he explained his entire origin, dude.
He drank some flour and then had superpowers. Cool, it wasn't...
And that gets explained in the actual Black Panther movie.
Yeah, I know, but we didn't get a whole movie where
what do you need to know about Black Panther and he's the next
that's
king?
What I say. We don't need it. The same way we didn't need another Spider-Man.
No, like, so Spider-Man, the explanation of how he came about has already been explained twice. Don't explain it another time. Miles Morales, fine. That's a different Spider-Man, similar situation, fine.
Give us 5. You see,
this was the Green Lantern. If you don't know the movie, the animated movies and animated series, or much about the comics, it was done well.
But they could have spent 5. There's so many cool green. Like, let me just go best.
Again, this is just a point of view from Hal Jordan becoming Green Lantern, and obviously him not wanting it, but then deciding to keep it. Fine. The CGI, first of all, the CGI in the suit was amazing.
No, it wasn't.
I liked the fact that they could go in such detail with the pulsing and the lines and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty good. Okay, now if we want to talk about, was it Galactus?
Not Galactus is
no,
Marvel.
No, it was Marvel. Sorry, who the fuck was the
Parallax?
No, Parallax, wasn't he the science friend?
I don't know.
I don't know. Again, the biggest
I haven't watched this.
fault
I
for
haven't watched
me.
this movie again for a reason.
I haven't either. But pardon. The biggest thing for me was there were 3 villains in essence thrown at an introduction into a character's creation. Big reason why it flopped. Number 1, I enjoyed, at least from Aaron Reynolds' perspective, I enjoyed his parts of the movie. I enjoyed his interaction with other characters and so forth, and not taking, again, everything too seriously. As you know from the actual Hal Jordan, which was voiced by... Give me a second. By Nathan Fillion, who we have spoken about is another amazing actor, which, by the way, I wanted to bring up. Have you noticed every time Nathan Fillion's involved, something gets cancelled?
Something's fucking up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, except for the games that he's in.
Yeah, but I mean, my whole premise is there is so much more that could have been done, and finally, compared to other DC movies, this has finally started going in a good direction.
Okay, so I think the
Ma-
problem with one of the problems with the quality of the final product of Green Lantern was much like a lot of the stuff we've spoken about, is that it wasn't the right time.
Yeah,
So the studios weren't willing to throw millions of dollars at a superhero movie because historically, other than like Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, superhero movies didn't work.
Yeah.
They were panned, critically. People didn't go and see them in cinemas. They weren't willing to drop a lot of money. And if they'd been willing to put in the money to get good writers and a good VFX team, then maybe we wouldn't, Green Lantern wouldn't be considered the worst superhero movie ever made.
I'll be honest. So the reason why a lot of people also have issues with something like Green Lantern is because the comparison that they have to date are Marvel movies.
Even some of the DC movies now are better than Green Lantern.
No. The only one that
That's
might...
just because you haven't seen them. You may have sat through them, but you haven't seen them.
So for the ones I have seen, partially, I still think out of... It's up with a lot of Man of Steel. I enjoyed Man of Steel as well. I mean,
sleep during Man of Steel.
Yeah, my wife falls asleep through everything. I don't blame you guys for sleeping during certain things. So for me personally, there were very good parts about the movie, but yes, there are very bad parts at the same time. So yeah, I can understand why a lot of people have issues. But for me, I compared this to DC movies because it is a DC film. If I compared it to Marvel, it was horseshit. If I compare it to DC, it is one of the tops. Yeah, for me, it's if I'm comparing it to DC, it was one of the tops. And for me, if DC had continued working in with the real cinematic universe or the live action cinematic universe and continued in the correct way with actually giving you some form of light, a lot of their stuff could have been a hell of a lot better. And that's why I still think Green Lantern is a very good thing. I mean, one thing is if they do decide to recreate a whole bunch, don't go back and retell the stories. Just continue from... fix your fuck-ups from the previous one and then just continue making it good.
And if you need to give us backstory, give us 5 seconds of some cool animated, like, this is how he got the ring. And
yeah, sort of like a fourth wall break where the character just speaks to everyone, just saying, oh, you want to know how I got here? And then explains it.
Even if they do the Wakanda way, it's like, meteor hit, we've now got powers. Cool. Into the story.
Yeah, so, again... it wasn't given a lot of justice at its time. As you said, it was released a lot earlier. So, but for me, I really enjoyed it. So, again, my mind cannot be changed. For anyone on your chat who might think they can, no. I have my opinions, and yours are wrong.
Yours are wrong. Majority rule, yours are wrong.
If there's a whole bunch of people at fault, that means one person is. So I'll move on to a next one. Get us out of the films. For anyone who might be typing away, giving an essay on their keyboards, I will move us on to games.
Slamming, breaking the
Yeah, I
keyboard,
can just
writing it
hear
all
normal
caps.
keyboards. Yeah, I can hear normal keyboards sounding like mechanicals because of how hard they're hitting their keys. Moving on to games.
Yes.
So
Hit and run.
yes, so The Simpsons Hit and Run. I agree
It
with you.
was Grand Theft Auto.
It was
Spring
cartoon. It
Trailer.
was cartoon. This Grand Theft Auto.
I
So
okay.
Wallo in chat, the Green Lantern is the worst superhero movie ever made. Have you seen Fantastic Four? It will be pronounced
Fantastic.
till the day I die. There are so many worse movies out there. You cannot say it is the worst superhero movie. First of all, Fantastic Four, the first one, horrible. The second rendition of it, even worse.
Oh well, Galactus was a big orb of darkness. Worst. I'm just gonna Google this quickly. What is the worst superhero movie?
Be probably something very obscure.
So okay, but this is back in the 90s. The number one here is Captain America.
No, these would be different renditions.
Green Lantern is still and Ghost Rider and BVS.
DBS?
Batman vs Superman.
Oh, BVS. Oh, DBS.
BVS. Dark Phoenix, Judge Dredd. Yeah, this list checks out. But The Simpsons Hit and Run was genuinely fun. It was a Grand Theft Auto game that wasn't. It didn't take itself as seriously as Grand Theft Auto does.
No, and it was very cartoonish. It took the piss out of everything.
Yeah,
that Grand Theft Auto pretty much was.
and it was fun. It was simple, and it was just it was something you could sit down and play without having to really focus on what you were doing.
Yeah, I agree. It was a lot of fun, especially. I mean, you're at home, you've got nothing else to do with your time. There's an open world game that you can fuck about in.
And I'm sure with how games are perceived now, a sequel to Hit and Run will do excellently. If they put the same time and effort and love into a second one. But then again, back then the Simpsons games were actually decent.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Simpsons fan, of the TV show.
Yeah.
But this game was a lot of fun, and I think that updating it now with the resources that we have, it could be a real winner.
I'm still going through this list of bad games and bad superhero movies, and there are a lot.
There are. Which one is it? The Rotten Tomatoes one?
Yeah. I mean, looking at here with a 0% score, being Max Steel Zoom, which was supposed to be a comedic take on superhero movies. Son of the Mask was okay.
Terrible. That was terrible. Fantastic. Catwoman. I mean, that one a Razzie. So Elektra, yep. The Crow, yep.
There's so many.
Yep.
But so again, depends on when the movies came out, because I mean, a lot of them were good for their time. If you're using them to compare today's, you're doing the wrong things if you try and compare them to today's standards. That's a big thing.
2014, 2021. Wow. Well, no, but this movie checks out.
It's not that bad. Calm yourself.
So
we'll move. Next. Yeah. So next on to games. One I actually haven't played yet. Star Wars Republic Commando.
Dude, it's a first-person shooter set during the Clone Wars. Solo campaign. No, it was made before co-op and online multiplayer was a big thing, and it was fun. It was genuinely fun because you played as the leader of a squad of clones who were, just before Order 66. I think it's actually a while before it's due. while Anakin and Padme are put into that arena.
Yeah.
It's during the events of the second movie. And again, I think with the resources that we have today, a Republic Commando, like a new Republic Commando, could be so much fun if if they put the same amount of effort that they did without the microtransactions that they put into
EA
Battlefield
Sports.
2. I think that a new Republic Commando could be an excellent game. It doesn't hold up. I bought it on Steam about a year ago, and I've played it. It doesn't hold up, but I think that's graphic.
Yeah, but again, if you're trying to compare, like, again, nostalgia is meant to stay nostalgia. Things you played is, I'm not about to try and play a PlayStation 1 game and expect it to be as good as what I remember it to be. I know it's going to be different. So, yes, it might have been good at its time, but if you want to try and compare it to today's game, unless it gets a
Yeah,
redo.
but that's the thing, is like we can say the same about Crash, the original Crash games. They
But
don't hold up, but
Yeah, but it had the opportunity to get a redo.
yeah, but if you look at like the Spyro, the Crash remakes, they're awesome. They're like Crash, the Crash remakes are lauded by almost everybody who was a Crash fan and who played it. So
But
if
again, I
they
think the premise of Crash was just run left or run right. While the Blackleg in chat says four stick.
or stick
Forgot it was a movie. It took about an hour and a half to start the freaking plot. I would watch Green Lantern a dozen times before I watched Four Stick once.
but Green Lantern does have the benefit of Ryan Reynolds and Taika Waititi.
Thank you.
So
There are positives.
there are positives.
There are a lot of bad, yes. But no, Ryan Reynolds ain't small, brother. I can tell you that much. Ask TikTok. But no, like as I said, like a lot of the things have their perks. From nostalgia perspectives, a lot of games have their perks as well.
Mm.
The fact that Crash Bandicoot was a simple styled game, but could be put on any scenario or any sort of platform, it would still do just the same.
But I think, like, if we look at Crash or Spyro, because when the original games came out, we didn't have hundreds of PS1 games, coming out every month. It was, we got 5 or 6 a month, and the good ones just stuck.
Yeah, and the other ones sort of died out.
Yeah, and I mean, if Disney just listens and they just make a Republic Commando game, it'll be awesome. They'll get so much money. They'll get so much money from me.
Yeah, because of all the microtransactions that EA always needs to put in all of their Star Wars games. Again, the biggest issue, like I enjoyed Star Wars, the games that I had played when I was younger. And as soon as EA got their grubby little hands on it, it became one of the most unenjoyable games.
If we look at the original Battlefield, the PS2 Battlefield, that game was awesome. You didn't have to pay $30 to play as Darth Vader.
And now look at the shit we deal with. But slowly moving on, so we're getting actually quite close to the end. So for, again, anyone in chat that has any things they wish...
Any games that they want to bring up?
Games, movies, series, while we have the chance before we go off, if you want to talk about them, put them in chat, give us a heads up, and I'll move on to the next one on your list, being Brutal Legend.
Yes.
So I swear I've seen this game somewhere. I've probably played it in like a Steers, not Steers,
most
a
likely
Spur.
not, because it was a PS3 game.
Oh shit! And then definitely not. I think Keegan might have played this though.
It was awesome because it took the like 80s like view of rock and roll, like the Devils and having an axe and leather jackets and spiky bracelets. It took that and it put it in. The story is this guy gets transported to this
Jack Black
metal world. Jack Black, the main character, is voiced by Jack Black, which is fucking excellent. And and I mean, it's got characters like Ozzy Osbourne is one of the people in it, or one of the Ozzy Osbourne is a character. and it's a lot of fun.
Are you
It's
thrown into a world where you just get to run around and beat the shit out of things with a guitar?
and you gotta no, you've got an actual axe, but you can like there's bits where you have to play your guitar, and like you get special abilities where you're like strum the guitar and lightning will fire out and kill all these enemies.
Just random shit.
It is so much
It's the
fun.
power of rock, dude.
It is. It's
I did this at the bottom of my table here. No one's the doll.
uh no, but I highly recommend. Brutal Legend is a little old, but it's stupid fun. You know, it's one of those games like there's side quests where you have to deliver a keg of beer and you have to make sure that your car doesn't like rock too much because the keg will explode and destroy your car and you'll fail the mission.
Yes,
It's
Wallow in Black Shade. Sorry, Black Shade. Shit, I can't. Why? Just choose your name, Keeks. Wallow Black Leg in chat. Yes, yeah.
yeah,
And then whatever. Okay, would
Yeah, so Keegs is on board. The blurb here: Brutal Legend is an action adventure that marries action combat, open world freedom, set in a universe somewhere between Lord of the Rings and Spinal Tap. That is an excellent like
Spinal Tap, really.
Spinal Tap because it's not real rock and roll. It's
Yeah.
this overblown
Idea of what people like.
of what like the hair metal and
I think it's the heavy religious point of view of what rock and roll or metal
yeah, it's like all
was
this
in
this
their view, in their
this
mind.
iconography, and it's like you know like weird dogs that have got metal heads and
Yeah, so what they did is they took a heavy religious person that thought rock and roll was the devil's music, put them down in a chair and say, "Tell us what you think it looks like from your perspective." And then they're like,
it's-
"Okay, we're gonna make a game. Thank you, bye."
it's getting conservative Christians and like
Just getting their points of view and be like, "I'm about to make money out of your shit."
middle-aged conservative moms to tell people like explain what they think the metal scene looks. I mean Jack Black, Ozzy Osbourne, Rob Halford. It's got, I mean, it's got like real rock stars as cast.
Might be something as long as might be something to go look at if you have Ozzy Osbourne going Sharon as one of his abilities.
And it's just kills people going Sharon.
Yeah, it's just like a sound boom. Moving on to another one, which a lot of it's an Xbox exclusive game.
No, is it? Is it really?
I'm asking. That's my question.
You're rousing. No. Android, Microsoft Windows, Mac OS, Xbox 360, Nvidia Shield, PlayStation 3,
Oh shit! Okay,
and
so it did
classic
come.
Mac OS. No, it was. I played it on PS3.
I'm
So
thinking Gears of War. Never mind. Carry on.
Metal Gear Rising is part of the Metal Gear Solid series.
Yeah.
It focuses on a character from Metal Gear Solid 2 or 3. I think it might be 3. Raiden. Except in this, it's not stealthy, it's not covert ops, you know, trying not to be seen and killing
It's
people.
bam in your face. You're there to do shit. Get it done.
Dude, you are a mecha samurai and it's crazy. It's the most ridiculous, over the top fun. It's stupid and it's a lot of fun. You get to play as a ninja. And you like can cut people in half.
Your biggest
It's just-
excitement.
It's just it's fun and it lives in the world of Metal Gear Solid, which is in itself insane. I mean, Psycho Mantis and you know, Big Boss and all these weird characters that Kojima created. Now, you know, getting a stupid game where you are a ninja in this world and you are a cybernetic ninja.
And you just get to go fuck
Sorry, not a
everything up.
ninja, a cybernetic samurai.
And you just get to go fuck everything up.
Dude, I mean, it's just so much fun. It's another game that I want another, and I know that we won't get it because of Kojima and Bandai Namco's. Sorry, not Bandai Namco, Konami. So Kojima and Konami's little breakup. We're not going to get another one. I've accepted this, but I want more. I want a
But if
Metal
they
Gear
ever bring one
Rising
out, you will not be
2.
saying no.
I won't. I will be samuraiing myself around, cutting people
To
in
see you
twain.
leave close the game, go, get off your chair and immediately start like hitting things
Go find a big ass samurai sword.
and just start swinging away.
Right in. Right in. Um, okay.
So moving on to another one, which will have a lot of similarities out there in the world. Bloodborne.
Bloodborne.
For any
Yeah,
of
I
you who
love.
have played Witcher, that have played Dark Souls, that have played all of those type of things, here's another game to ruin your time.
Dude, I love Soulsborne games. I've
Soulsborns.
Soulsborne, yeah, Dark Souls and Bloodborne, and I think like not Sekiro. Let me get a list of Soulsborne.
We have
Soulsborne.
Wallow Blacklake in chat in. The game has a ton of style, a good story, and was really fun. My only issue with the game that I agree with the critics is that the gameplay seems to rug pull about about 1/3 of the way through, from God of War hack to slash the tower defense RTS, and that wasn't really
That
advertised in the game demo.
Yeah, so I will accept that there was a lot of micromanagement.
Is this referring to?
In no, that's in answer to Keeg's comment or Walla Blacklake's comment about it becomes less this hack and slash, kill guys and be badass, to having to be very specific with your movements, and it's not a tactical, it's not like Command and Conquer.
Where your mindset isn't really about being
Yeah, where
tactical, it's
or like
about I'm gonna go there, fuck this up, and be right
yeah,
back.
and it tries to pull in elements of games like why am I blanking on it? It's a Blizzard game.
There are many.
Not World of Warcraft. There's
Overwatch,
no the other one.
Diablo.
Not the other one. The one in space with space marines.
Halo.
That's not Blizzard.
I don't know. Stargate.
Star something. You know which one I'm talking about.
For anyone who might have a single clue of what Connor's talking
I'm
about.
gonna go get the space marine.
Keegan is probably heavily typing on his keyboard just to show you.
No, sorry, Space Marines are from Warhammer.
Let's see who wins between Wallow Blacklake in chat and Kazmadan. Just to let you know, Wallow Blacklake does have a 2-second delay.
StarCraft.
As you said it just in chat.
It was trying to pull in elements of games like that, and it was too big or too sudden a shift in gameplay.
Yeah.
Which was very frustrating. But back to Bloodborne, I like raging at games, apparently.
So you are the guy that will spend hours fighting the one boss, give up, go find something else, come back and beat the same
took
boss
me
quite easily.
3 weeks to beat the first boss in Dark Souls
You
3.
should have done all the side quests first.
It's the first boss. It's 20 minutes into the game.
What was that reference? Who are you? I'm the guy who did all the side quests first.
Yeah, it's like the first boss. Then it's just this buff ass dude. He's like, yeah,
I think you're in the wrong place, dude.
like knife him, and then the boss is done. But Bloodborne, it holds the same challenge. The setting is so different to the Dark Souls and Demon Souls and Dark Souls games.
Just say for all of you who are busy watching, that is a sexy image right there. Oh, Wallow Blacklake in chat, bit late with the StarCraft.
There we go. But yeah, it introduced stuff like guns and weapons that can do more than one thing.
Well, I mean, doesn't that look like a musket crossbow?
Yes, but also the sword, that the cleaver thing that he's carrying folds down, and it becomes like it's got the handle and the blade curves around like that.
Just to know, Kazmadan, you are a space clown.
Apparently, I'm a space clown. But it introduced a lot of cool stuff, and with this Victorian-esque setting, it it was so cool, and I'd love to see a Souls, not a Souls, a Bloodborne 2, because also Bloodborne had some of the most interesting bosses. Like they were horrific and grotesque, and they haunt my nightmares, but they were interesting.
And
They
pretty
were,
awesome if you look at the context of the game.
yeah, and you know, it was very much like it was dark. It was darker than, in my opinion, what the other games in its genre had served up.
Yeah.
Because it was like weird, like blood beings, and you know, it dealt with a lot of witchy stuff. It was just altogether cool. I'd love to see more of it. I don't need them to change much, but if they do what they've done with, like, going Dark Souls 1 got me into the style of game.
Yeah.
And I've then subsequently followed with every Soulsborne game. And if they bring out a Bloodborne 2 that's got uh the same theme and a lot of the same mechanics, it's gonna be awesome. And I think Blood and 2 question mark. Maybe there's a remaster for PS5. But look, we did okay, so there's no sequel, but we did get a pretty big expansion for it in the Old Hunters, and you know, it's not a game for everyone, but people who like it, who like that type of game, they like challenging as games that make you want to break a controller, I recommend. Good. But that's also it's got a downside, of a big con, in which it is a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, so for any of you who just want to play a single game, you now have to go buy the entire console just to do this.
Yeah, just go buy a PS4. They're a handful of change at this point with
So according
party.
to Moriarty, not only Bloodborne PlayStation 5 remaster is in the works, but it's also getting a sequel. If indeed this is true, it is great news for not just us, the fans, but the entire growing world. A sequel to the game, as epic as
And
Bloodborne, might
I
just be
mean,
one of the best projects of future gaming.
for Wallow, if he ever does get his hands on a PS4, it's heavily influenced by Lovecraft. So there you go.
PS4,
But
PS5.
PS4, because PS4s are cheaper. It's excellent. It's a great game. I highly recommend if you've got the system to play it on. Yeah, it's just it's fun and difficult.
And there are some sites that you can go onto that do free emulations for certain consoles where you can play it on the site itself. Not
Right.
saying you should do that, but
Yeah,
if you
no,
want to, by all means,
you should not pirate.
do not
software.
pirate shit. But
Not pirate
you do
shit.
you. I'm not your maker. I don't
I'm
look
not a
after you.
cop,
Yeah.
but
Nudge, nudge.
yeah, it's fun. I'd like more. Sol, do you have any games that you'd like to speak about?
Not for me, not really. I mean, a lot of the stuff I'm playing now, being on PC, it's easier to access a lot of older games through so like things like Steam and stuff. So
I
when
mean,
it comes to
almost
games, not
every
really.
game that we've spoken about, you can go and buy on Steam. Like,
Yeah.
okay, Hit and Run you can't, because that's a very.
No, but that's again PS2 emulator situation if you want.
I mean, you can buy Republic Commando on Steam, Brutal Legend, Metal Gear Rising. You know, a lot of these games on PC, they're very accessible.
Yeah, so I mean, it's even if they didn't create another version or a newer version or a sequel to, they're still accessible. So that's why I think for me, a lot of when it comes to games, outside of if you're looking at like Jack and Daxter and stuff like that, I would like to
Dude,
see
if
the
they were
stories
to bring
continue
out
in newer
a
consoles.
like a remaster of Jack and Daxter for the PlayStation 4, even if they're going to put it on PC,
That would be you for a couple of days.
so I do think that I am looking at those games through nostalgia. Very
Yeah.
much so.
But again, the whole premise of what we do and what we talk about is nostalgia and all the shit we've gone through. Giving some extra time to those in chat that want to bring up anything they want to talk about, any games, any movies, any series that you wish you can manage to continue. Now is your time before we end. But no, the whole point and purpose of what we do is nostalgia. Again, we refer to what we grew up on, what made us enjoy what we do today, and everything that if people didn't see these games before, they saw them now and played them, they'd be like, "Oh, this is awesome!" But this came out 20 years ago. You're fucking late. But anyway, we were the hipsters that
Mm,
played them. Not saying 20 years ago.
ow, ow. But a couple like when did Mono come out?
I want to actually hold on. Let me see how old
Also,
you
if
feel.
if Disney could just go, it came out in 2005. When did KOTOR come out?
So, make you feel old. Brutal Legends came out in October 2009.
Look, I
Over
also
12 years ago, Connor.
another one that I can throw on this list is Knights of the Republic.
That was, yes. Knights of the
Um,
Republic was very good.
like I know they brought out, um, I think it's just called Star Wars: The Old Republic, which is a MMO. But if they could just remake, like get Obsidian back in the creator chair. Oh no, it wasn't Obsidian, it was BioWare. And just remake KOTOR, I'd be very. When did it come out? I need a. Oh no, oh no no no, no.
How
Oh,
old do you feel now?
I feel very old.
When
out
did
in
it come out?
2003. I was 8 when I started playing that game.
So again, like even if you're looking at it through nostalgia glasses, that's exactly the purpose of these games. The reason why, if they made sequels in today and made us enjoy them as well as we enjoyed the first ones back then when they came out, they would be on the right path.
Oh damn!
Oh,
I'm
God.
gonna just go ahead and paste this link in the chat.
I'm afraid to see it.
No, don't worry. Go watch that piece. If anybody's on the same train as me,
You don't want to know. I'm afraid it's going to come.
just click it.
Nope, this is not coming through my PC. I will have to watch this afterwards.
Oh, that is great news for me. I'll have to now buy a PlayStation 5.
Just so you can play the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes.
So for any of you
A
who might miss it, they
remake.
are finally doing a remake for a next gen console.
For a console that I do not own.
Yet. But no, from me, there isn't really anything else that comes to mind immediately. I mean, a lot of the series that we've spoken about, a lot of the stuff I've watched have been once-offs, and kind of sad that they were. Movies, they aren't really that many to talk about. Like if they continued, wouldn't really make much of a difference of today's life. I mean, with everything that we have coming out now, you wouldn't really miss it. So
Yeah, but I mean, to relive some of that, it would be cool. But
another one I had missed on a series was a series called Fringe, but it's another not really helping.
Fringe, I think it had its time.
But what I don't like is it ended the wrong way. It didn't end sufficiently.
It didn't end the way you wanted it to.
Not necessarily the way I wanted to, but with a, like as you spoke about Firefly giving a close to everything and stuff like that, they didn't do the same justice when it came to something like Fringe. So it was, again, I really enjoyed the series, the concept, the idea behind it.
It was cool, but
It was.
I think again it was. Guys, I just found out that. Sorry, I'll be with you in a second. They're
Yes, you will be
remaking.
with the podcast in a second, Connor.
I'll be with you and the chat in a second. They're remaking Republic Commando, or wait, when was this? When was February 24th, 2021? Yeah, they're doing an upgrade for it for PS4.
PS4.
Or they're re-releasing it on.
Well, there you go, Connor. One thing you can get from your childhood.
Yeah, and KOTOR when I can afford a PS5. Yeah, but Fringe, it was another one. It ran. How did Fringe run for actually? This is awful.
Fringe ran for 5 seasons.
Which I think.
It was 2008 to 2013. That's a good average for the length of certain for a lot of seasons, especially when you kind of don't have enough gas. Where you kind of just start throwing shit in a fan and hoping anything would stick, and then it kind of just brings everything down from there. It still
like
ends on
other series that went
shut up, Supernatural's fine.
5 seasons.
Supernatural's good, shut up. But there's a hell of a lot other that we've spoken about. But for that kind of premise, as long as they had ended it,
but that's a big problem with a lot of TV series is they don't stick the landing.
Yeah, they kind of just like we run, we jump, and then fuck all floor to jump onto. Yeah, you kind of do that fall for a minute and then just give up.
Yeah, and then you do a massive disservice to the fans by.
Because I mean, if you look at the premise behind Fringe and using the sci-fi fanatic of it, but including a bunch of science to it, it was really good. And they went on for a good period of time, and then they just gassed out, and then they just like, no, we're going to end it here. But a whole bunch of fans are just sitting there going like, what the fuck is left?
Yeah, they're like, why have we...
You've opened so many doors, but now you've left them open, sort of thing. So that's why I think like the way Firefly handled it was like that. Yeah, Firefly did it in the right way. If everyone got the same fucking idea to do it, it'd make this sort of podcast a lot more difficult.
But yeah, I'm out of stuff I want more of for now.
Same from me. We see no other additions in chat, so for anyone who might have missed the podcast, we do upload straight to YouTube. So if you have any additional comments, we would be happy to see them there. We will reply.
Yeah, of course.
But yes, thank you very much.
Also follow us on Twitter at Absolute Buggery, capital A, capital B, and find us on YouTube, but the same, but without the at.
And obviously find us here either every Saturday or Sunday, depending on how our life schedules work.
Or when we don't think we just don't stream. But also tune in next week. We're going to be doing Marvel 3 Part 1.
Yeah,
because we've collectively agreed with our third sometimes host Talora that
we kind of had to come to an agreement that there are too many films in
not
Phase
only that,
3.
Infinity War and Endgame, it's gonna be hard to contend within a single episode.
Yeah,
sitting up for 5 hours.
Yeah, so we are trying to cut these down, trying to leave them around about a 2-hour cap. So we will be splitting that one. It'll run over 2 separate sessions, but again, you will be able to find the VODs on our YouTube page. You can go catch up there if you have missed anything.
And do you mind if I give the listeners or the watchers some required reading? Since I only had one last week.
Yes. So for anyone who missed last week, we've created a new category for our podcast being required reading, where we have a lot of... Well, we've started going back to a lot of the comic books and stuff that we've either read before or wanted to come, or new ones that have come out that we want to talk about. And some of the stuff we do give out are ones that we're going to probably discuss. So Connor's got a bit of a list he wants to get out.
Yes, I've got a couple that I've been reading. So Dark Ages, which we spoke about on our potluck last, which is a Marvel event, which is excellent. The second issue
definitely agree with that. I have read the first issue. I'm about to read the second. So I'm very excited. I mean, it was very exciting to read. So
Dark Ages was excellent, and now go read the second issue of Dark Ages, which is excellent.
Sandman, if you
and you can
power your little hands on
11 volumes, the 10 volumes of main Sandman plus all the short stuff afterwards. You can do that. But 3 comics coming from Image, which is A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, which I read this morning, which is excellent. Radiant Black, which has got 8 issues out, and the Me You Love in the Dark, which is 3 issues out. All excellent. I'm trying to convince Will to read them.
Not convinced. I'm just need to. You've given them to me this morning. I need a bit of time, Connor.
I know, no, but the last one I don't. You'll be so down with. But
You'll send me the
still,
list. It's okay.
go read.
These will most likely be topics of our next discussion. So if you want to be in on the know it all of what we're talking about and have no spoilers, we suggest you go and
So I'll put them in the chat.
we'll just state this is a required reading if you don't want spoilers.
We will be, and when we do
Do
when we do our comics episode, we will be spoiling.
Yes, we'll be spoiling a lot. But for me, thank you guys, everyone. Thank you, Connor, my co-host,
you,
my
Bill.
other host, the other main guy, the brains behind this whole shindig. Thank you to everyone in chat. Thank you so much for all of this massive, lovely discussion that we've had this very fine eve. Thank you for everyone participating. But for myself, that is all. I am happy. Con, anything else?
No, I'm good. I'm happy.
So again, thank you to everyone, and we have been absolute buggery.
And we've had opinions. Some of them correct, some of them wrong.
Some of them, you shut the fuck up, Connor. My opinions don't matter. Yours don't.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Oh fuck. I'm exhausted now. Oh. Whoop.